Hello folks, Reloading Bench back with you once again on this beautiful, today's a Sunday and it's not raining, but it's a little bit chilly. So spent some time raking leaves, filling the bin, and now I thought I would make a weekend video for a piece of, this all started yesterday actually when I received something in the mail. And it brought my attention to, I'll call it an OMG factor because of what I thought I recognized. So I decided to pull these two items out of the, I'll call it storage. So I always have this on my bench, this Hornady Case Prep Center. And I have this on a rack for use when I need it. And these are two examples of what I would call tool extremes, both in terms of functionality and price. So I think this was like 30 bucks when it came out years and years ago. And then I mounted it to my oak platform so that I could use my T-slot to mount it to the bench. Same thing with this. So you've seen videos of both of these in years past. And I've had this for, I think, 3 years now. This being at the low end of the cost functionality spectrum, when I say low end, I mean dedicated. So all this does is primes. This is just a primer, and it does it very effectively and efficiently, but that's all it does. This, on the other hand, is, again, a center. So center being multi-use tool in that everything for case prep is here, from trimming your case, and the two main cases that I would trim on this are 308 and 223. So between having the correct pilot and having your settings dialed in, and again, mostly 223, and I have that permanently set. 308 I shoot a lot less of, and actually have enough brass to last a while. That's already ready to go. So this does it all, from trimming, chamfer, deburr, cleaning the throat out with a brush. So all of the tools that are necessary for case prep are in one particular form factor. And I didn't start out with this. In fact, again, I only picked this up, I think, about 3 years ago. So that would have been, 11 years into my reloading career, where this was, much, much older in terms of years ago picking it up. So when I look at tools, I look at that cost-benefit analysis. Is this $30? I'll throw $30 into a tool just to play with it, check it out, see what it is. This was 500 bucks, I think. I tried to find it used. Nobody had it. And what's funny is in the last year, I've seen it for half that used. But you never know what condition things are in because pictures have a tendency to distort the truth a bit. And if you recall, I had issues with the fuse and only having one fuse. So, but I love this. And the main reason I love this is because of this cam lock functionality, where I don't have to have, my fingertips torn up from trimming brass, or have to use, another tool like a hand primer to lock, like 5/7 by 28 brass in. So this I love because of the cam lock. And again, very consistent, very, very, very consistent. So this is an all-in-one solution for me, and I am beyond satisfied with that tool. And because I didn't start out with that early in my reloading career, I don't feel as bad about what I paid for it, because I'm a firm believer you get what you pay for. So let's fast forward to why I'm making this video, and that has to do with receiving my annual 2025 Hornady, I guess I'll just call it the mailing. So their annual mailing, which includes, a catalog for 2025, some stickers, and then, of course, their double-sided fold-out of every bullet that they make, which is really cool. I wish there was some way, without paying a fortune at like Kinko's, or I guess they're FedEx now, FedEx Copy Center, to put that on some type of mount. So this will go off to the side. This will go off to the side. And I look through the bullet fold out, but as I was paging through this, to see, what's new for 2025, this caught my eye. And this is the Hornady high-speed 3-in-1 power case trimmer. And I thought to myself, wow, that looks really familiar. This looks almost exactly like the Henderson trimmer. And I thought, oh, maybe Hornady licensed Henderson's trimmer, or they bought Henderson. I don't know. So I like the fact that the dehumidifier rod is red. That's cool, Hornady red. So I went out to poke around, and what I found was this is the Henderson, and this is at Midway as of today. This is the Henderson Precision Gen 3 powered case trimmer with a 115 volt motor. This is $780. All this does is trim cases, whereas my prep center does all of the steps. But some people will say, well, this is, for the high-end shooter. Okay, I'm not going to argue that. I personally am not going to spend, after tax and shipping, close to $900 for a case trimmer. But that's just me. And when I've seen it on YouTube videos and everything, it's very cool. You're dedicating space on your bench, or if maybe you have an inline fab mount, you mount it to one of your flush plates or your press mounts, interchangeable tops. But in any case, this is a BMF. It's a big mother. And that's not to say that this case prep center on the side of my bench here is not a BMF either. It is. But again, what I get out of the case prep center is a lot more than just trimming brass. So I went out and I started poking around, and again, look at the configuration. So you have this particular setup that pulls back and forth, the shield, the motor, the belt drive. Lo and behold, and this might look a little deceptive because of this red bin under here, but imagine this without the red bin. Wow, that looks pretty close. A little bit different handle, a little bit different, guide, and the motor is not belt driven, it is direct drive. So I thought, and it has a little bit different, I don't know what these are called, indents, that it doesn't look like the Henderson has. So to me, this looks like I thought Hornady licensed the Henderson Precision Gen 3 powered case trimmer, but apparently not. This is Hornady's own model. It is, it says the list price is $775. That's interesting. But Midway is taking orders or allowing you to add notification for $620. So yeah, 30%ish less. And that led me to look out on the web, and I found something on Shooters Forum, and a comment from a gentleman, I would assume, since the username is Rob. He said not to pick this scab. This was a longer chat. Not to pick this scab, but I received a response from Hornady customer service on my question about if they copied the Henderson, and this is from October 25th, so almost 2 months ago. Hornady's reply: our trimmer is simply our trimmer. It's not a copy in quotes, of anything. It's the most advanced 3-in-1 trimmer on the market. Did we look at a lot of other trimmers? Of course. We should assume Henderson reviewed other designs before making theirs. Chevrolet makes cars with 4 wheels. So does Ford and Dodge. Are the vehicles the same? Theirs is red. Ours is red. Hornady has been red since 1949. Aside from that, we have numerous unique features on our trimmer. Motor is faster, not a belt drive, click adjust for the fine tuning, etc., etc. Designed and assembled in the USA at Hornady. So, again, a car is a car. Look at all the car manufacturers that kind of copy each other. So, I don't know, how good of a trimmer this particular Henderson is. I would imagine if somebody's going to lay out $800 for a trimmer, they're into the sport pretty heavily. This is more expensive on face value, before any discounts or any other, than my Hornady Case Prep Center. And the Case Prep Center does many more things than just trim brass. Maybe this trims them at a higher speed, and by higher speed, I'm not talking about motor, I'm talking about the ability to swap in and out. But again, I'm not into what I would call speed trimming. I like efficiency in trimming, so I'm not taking forever. And again, this is a little deceptive because of the bin there. It looks pretty exact in terms of the front, with some minor modifications to the shield, the brass shield, and how the motor is mounted and driven. I think this is a tighter design by all means, because you don't have this giant belt drive and you don't have the motor sticking up and having to be mounted on something. I don't know what that is, if that's a rest or what, but it looks like I'm going to say a complementary version of the Henderson trimmer, which brings me back to this topic that we started with. This is $30. There is, and I cannot remember for the life of me, I want to say CPS, but I could be missaying, so I don't want to say that that's it. There is a $700, $800 plus trim, priming feeding device that almost looks like the either the RCBS or the Forester versions, with the priming rod going boom, 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 boom every time you prime. It's a tube-fed primer, but it's extremely supposedly very accurate. I don't know. I don't have it. I'm not going to spend $800 plus for something that primes my brass. I have a number of other solutions like this, like my adjustable Frankfurt Arsenal hand trimmer, that can do that in terms of depth of seating primer, whereas this is just a single single lever pull. Which is very similar, but the other $800 version one allows you to adjust the particular depth of the primer punch. So, am I going to spend $800 or more on a bench primer? No, I'm not. Am I going to spend $700 to $900 on a case trimmer? No, I'm not. But there are people that will probably say, you're also crazy for spending, the money that you did on this. But again, this was not early in my reloading career. This was at a point where I had tried a number of other solutions and I was ready to move up to this particular solution. And maybe people can make the case for that too, that they have a number of trimming solutions and they're ready to step up to the next level, whether that be a Henderson Precision Gentry powered case trimmer or the new Hornady high-speed power case trimmer that is a new arrival or will be a new arrival, as it's not yet ready for sale. So can't even order it. I don't know if it's orderable on any other sites, but it looks like it's coming soon for 2025. And I'm sure somebody will have a video on it because somebody's going to buy it and try it and see how it goes. So again, interesting. I always like seeing the new stuff from the vendors for the coming year. And it looks like Hornady is also doing, if I can get some stuff out of the way, it looks like Hornady is also following up with new and improved match grade dies with click adjust micrometer. Very similar. I don't know if it's just the micrometer that you buy or you buy the whole die. Very similar to what Lee did for $15 in terms of adding a micrometer to any one of their bullet seating dies. But it looks like not a whole lot. Cabinets, containers. I like the dehumidifier rods being red. Don't need a cheap TSA lock. Same thing with the pistol rack. Yet another aluminum loading block. I mean, it's cool that it's red and it has Hornady on it and whatnot, but that's not how I reload. I'm very happy with my plastic reloading blocks. So not a whole lot for 2025 in terms of, maybe this cool LED light, the Hornady light, but not a whole lot of earth-shattering things. I think these two are the biggies for 2025, the micrometer, seating die adjust, and the high-speed case trimmer. So will be interesting to see how this is received. There are some reloaders that think it's a cheap copy of the Henderson, and then there are others, Hornady included, saying, we looked at what was out there and we decided to do our own implementation, and that's that. Just like there's only so many ways to make a bench-mounted primer press. So more to come. I would love to get my hands on this to check it out, but at that price point, that's not something I see in the foreseeable future. So take care for now.